Welcome to 5 and 5 from One Stop Co-op Shop, where we review 5 key aspects of a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today I'm looking at the Cyberpunk Tactical Miniatures game, Human Interface. So this review is going to be different than a lot I do because sadly it's just not very good. I don't like to do this because I'm a designer too, and I understand how tough these things can be, but I do feel my first duty is to inform you, the potential buyer, of the great things and the not so great things about a game. But before we get to the review, I want to say that I accepted this game because I like the cyberpunk theme. I want to admit that I've only played the game about 4 times, and I also want to admit that I'm not entirely sure I'm playing the game correctly because, as we'll discuss later, the rulebook is problematic. So maybe there's a good game in here that I just didn't see, but I'm going to share my experience with you, honestly. With all that out of the way, let's get to the game. So for point number 5, I wanted to start with a pro, have something positive because this will be the only pro in the review, and for that I'll say the components are pretty nice. The miniatures don't have great detail and don't quite match their artwork, but they're recognizable and look kind of fun. I'm sure they'll be great to paint. The tiles are thick cardboard and have pretty attractive artwork on them. And every character gets this dashboard that has little spinnable dials for health and cybershock. It's pretty sweet. My next point is a mix, but it does lean positive, and that's that I do see some fun possibilities in this game, especially if you play it competitively. They've got some cool mechanisms in here, like the ability to hack terminals or even hack your opponent's rig and mess them up and make noise so that the AI goes toward them. That being said, it sounds cooler than it is in practice, and most of the stuff I'm talking about only applies in the competitive game, and I'm reviewing the co-op game, so Alright, now for point 3 and on, let's get to the meat of this review, and it's all going to be bad, unfortunately. Number 3 is how combat and damage work in the game, and that's pretty important because this is a tactical miniatures game, and a large portion of it is hurting and removing figures from the board. For some reason, they went with this really odd balance where defense is way easier than attack, and it is very difficult to hurt anybody. Because attacking and defending stats are generally about the same, and defenders get a +3 bonus to their dodge, you're going to miss a lot of the time, and even when you hit, armor values are so high that you'll usually do no damage, or maybe if you're lucky, you'll do a single point of damage. It's just very odd to have a tactical game where 75% of the time or more your attacks have 0 effect, and your characters feel like they're in no danger. I just don't understand it. My next con is the campaign, and I do want to say I sympathize greatly with the designers here. I'm working on a campaign game right now with Peter, and it's very tough to have a branching campaign, to have interesting story beats, to have the narrative come through with a mechanics-heavy game. But that being said, I don't know how much of this is a translation issue. I've never translated a game before. I don't want to claim that I'm able to, but things just don't make sense. If you watch my playthrough, you'll see they refer to enemies that don't exist on the board. They'll say you can take weapons when there aren't enough cards to do so. They'll say that your team can't reach you, but based on the map they can. They'll say that your team is shooting people, but the map says they don't have any weapons. And this kind of stuff goes through the entire campaign. It's just really confusing. And finally, getting to the main thing, the rules for this game. I don't know if I've been playing it correctly. They're just really confusing and really poorly laid out. One of the big issues is they keep on mixing stuff with the competitive game with stuff for the cooperative game, and it's hard to know which one goes with which, and it can really lead to some confusion for the reader. Additionally, they over-explain some things, like literally repeating almost the same explanation 2 or 3 times in the same section of the rules, and then they don't explain other things, and they have no index to find things. As a big example, a bunch of the weapons and abilities let you stun somebody. What does stun do? I have no idea because it does not exist in the rules unless it's in some corner that I just couldn't find it. Now again, I'm a game designer. I have written or partially written all the rules for our games, and I know how tough it is. I don't write perfect rules. People can sometimes get the game wrong because I didn't make things clear enough, but I have very low confidence that when I'm playing the game, I'm playing it correctly. The rules don't make me feel comfortable. They feel like a burden to get through, and I still don't really know what I'm doing when I get into playing. So is the game fixable? I don't know. If the company puts out a new PDF for better rules, better translated rules, if they have more examples, if they fix up the campaign so the missions actually work, I think the game could be okay, but with the attacking problems, I think there's kind of some core issues here that would actually need, redoing of the rules, and that's even a bigger issue than just translation. I will say, though, the competitive game looks like it might be fun. I mean, I guess it's still gonna have the same attacking issues, so I don't know, but a lot of the other ideas seem cool, so maybe give it a shot. Maybe put some variants in for ways to do more damage. I don't know. But do I recommend you get Human Interface Be a Better Human in its current state? Maybe if you love Cyberpunk and want the miniatures, maybe if you want to house rule a bit, but otherwise, no. I think this game is very difficult and frustrating to play, and I don't think it's a good cooperative and solo experience. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.